Welcome back, everyone. It is Wednesday, February 12th in the NBA, and today is a holiday. Why? 15 games on tonight in the association, all 30 teams in action. This rarely happens in the NBA season, but we got every single team to talk about. We got 6 plays in this video. We're going to dive into them in just one moment. As always, if you are new, my name is Austin from Calling Our Shot. Thank you for tuning in. Sit back, relax. Let's dive into our favorite picks and break down this slate. As always, we begin with a recap of yesterday. Honestly, not a good day for us. 1-2, snapped our 9-1 run. We did cash the ladder challenge, which was kind of a miracle. Shout out Josh Giddey for coming through despite his team being down 3 million points. Our other 2 plays weren't great. Siakam's under. If you look at the box score, you saw he ended with only 24 points, right above the line that we took the under, but I think he had 19 in the first half. And then Kobe White goes 0 for 8 from 3-point line. Like I said, in that Bulls Pistons game, that game was disgusting to watch. But a 1-2 day, we can move on. Like I said, in this video, we have 6 plays. There is a chance we add some plays. So as always, check that pinned comment down below. See if we add any plays throughout the day. As I said, 30 teams, 15 games, a lot to dive through. Obviously, don't bet the whole entire board. There are going to be blowouts in here, and there's going to be things that go awry. So don't put your whole bankroll on the line. But again, if you there's a lot of games on today, so make sure you pick and choose your spots wisely. I got a bunch of picks in this video that I really like. We'll dive into the first one and waste no more of your time. First one of the day is going to be a guy by the name of Brook Lopez. I like his over 1.5 made 3-pointers, which is currently minus 125 on BetMGM. Obviously, this is a 1-unit play, and he plays for the Milwaukee Bucks, who are on the road tonight taking on the Timberwolves. Now, in terms of the injury report, obviously Giannis Antetokounmpo is out for this team. He's out until post All-Star break. So Bobby Portis in the lineup. As for the Timberwolves side, they're mostly normal lineup we've seen over the last few days. Julius Randle's out and Dante DiVincenzo are out. Mike Conley, I think, is a game time decision. Doesn't really affect this bet. In terms of Brook Lopez, we've taken his over in threes once this season. That was against the against who did they just played? Against the Grizzlies, against Zach Edey. Knocked down 3 of them, thanks. Now he's facing Rudy Gobert. We know Gobert, what is he notorious for doing? Drop coverage, and he leaves open some guys from the top of the key. And that's where I see Brook Lopez making him pay. And we've seen over these matchups, he's actually played pretty well. Now, in terms of Brook Lopez, and if we're looking at him on the season, sure, he's only over in 16 of his last 30. That's not great. He's come off a game against the Warriors, 1 3-point attempt, only scored 6 points here. Now, what happened? The Warriors went small. They went to the small ball lineup, and so they had a guy out there to guard Brook Lopez from the perimeter. However, we've seen when he faces centers that don't really move as much. Zach Edey, this was a game he went 3 for 7 from the 3-point line. When he's faced head-to-head against the Timberwolves, haven't played this year yet. Last year, 2 threes on 4 attempts. 4 threes on 10 attempts. So again, a lot of 3-point attempts in here. This game was without Damian Lillard, a guy that could set him up. So really, they got smoked. They lost by 25 points. Obviously, now we have Dame Lillard in here, and I don't like the matchup for Dame because there's a lot of guys out here on the lineup for the Timberwolves that can guard him. Jaden McDaniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and so on and so forth. A lot of guys that can fight through screens. However, Brook Lopez, I think, gets a lot of opportunities tonight, given he's setting a lot of screens, and without Giannis, it's been pretty good over this line in 7 of 10 games. I mean, the attempts have been there. Obviously, last game, not a lot of attempts, but again, here, 5 attempts. This one, 5, 7, 11, 5 here, 6, 5 again. Went 3 for 3 here against the Heat. Not a great matchup for him. And then 1 for 5 here. So I really think there's going to be a good amount of attempts here. We've seen in his matchups against Rudy Gobert over 7 of his last 9 against him, 4 or more 3-point attempts in most of those games, double digit in a few of them. I think this is a matchup where I can realistically expect him to, let's say, get 5 attempts. And if he gets 5, he's over in 24-30. Probably at least 4 over in 21 of 30. So again, I really think this is a great spot to back Brook Lopez. I think he knocks down 2 threes for us tonight. I don't like taking a lot of overs in threes because I feel like we have no luck on the over. We have a lot of luck on the under. So Brook Lopez can bang home 2 threes for us tonight. Now we got to balance out an over in threes. We do have an under in threes later on this video. We need an under though. And I think this is a guy that I'll throw up on the thumbnail, and I'm cool fading him tonight, and that'll be Stephen Curry. I like his under 28.5 points, minus 125 on DraftKings, a 1-unit play. Also like it down to 27.5. I honestly don't hate it at 26.5 either. I don't see this being a great matchup for Steph Curry. Now, if you've been fading Steph, you've been getting absolutely cooked recently because he's been on a heater, and we'll talk about that how he's played recently. But I don't like this matchup for him as they're on the road taking on the Mavericks. Now, obviously, you'll see if his former running mate in Klay Thompson, and I feel like when they played at home against Klay, you've seen him want to turn it up an extra notch. But on the road, he shoots notoriously much worse. And I just don't see this being a great matchup. Obviously, the Mavericks are a pretty good defensive team. They'll be down some guys, most notably Anthony Davis is out tonight, and Daniel Gafford and Lively. So they don't have any big men, but in turn, you're going to see them go small, which is exactly what the Warriors do. So everyone on the court, in my opinion, can guard. I'm not saying they're the best defender for Steph Curry, but again, they can go out on the perimeter and guard Steph and make him drive, which is what they would like to do. Now, obviously, Steph, we've talked about him. He has been scorched earth recently. He's over in 4 straight games, scoring 32, 37, 34, and 38 points. So sure, he's going off, but let's keep in mind these first two, 32 and 37 versus the Jazz and Lakers, 31 field goal attempts, 35. This was without Jimmy Butler. They were without Andrew Wiggins and all those guys after the trade. Of course, he's going to fire it up. He had no choice. Now, the most recent games against the Bulls, we don't count those. Games against the Bulls don't count. That team sucks. Joking aside, obviously he makes 8 threes, whatever. And then again against the Bucks, again with Brook Lopez and drop coverage, a lot of opportunities for him. There's going to be no drop coverage today against the Mavericks. And technically head-to-head wise, he's played well against them, 37 here and then 26 points here. I'm not too worried about these previous performances because they've both been at home. On the road, Steph's been pretty bad, under in 15 of 22. Sure, these most recent games, he's boosted the stat line, but there's been a lot of bad games in here, and I just don't trust him a ton. I mean, you look at his 3-point line, what are we looking at? A 4.5 line, despite him absolutely soaring over that line recently. I don't know. Feels like a little bit of a trap there. I'm going to take his under. I just don't think this is a great spot for him. I get it. Jimmy Butler gives him a different dynamic on offense, but again, they are going to live with Jimmy Butler beating them because they have a bunch of other guys down there that I feel like they can defend Jimmy Butler. We got Najee Marshall. We'll see if PJ Washington plays. I just don't like this matchup for Steph Curry. I'll fade him 28.5. You'd be looking like a lunatic if you had a 28.5 line for Steph Curry about a week or two ago. Now that he's played well the last few games, obviously they've bumped up his line. I think 28.5 is a great line to fade him at. I'll take the chef, Steph Curry, under 28.5 points tonight. My third pick, we're going to go to a 2-leg parlay. And I really like both these 2 legs, but honestly, one of them is the real meat and bones of this one. And he's got a lot of meat on his body. Pause. Let's cut that out. Zion Williamson, over 4.5 assists, parlayed with Domantas Sabonis to record a double-double. Now, obviously, Sabonis double-double does not have a lot of value to it regardless, but you combine these two together, it's minus 115 on Bet365. Now, there's going to be the question, Austin, my book has moved up Zion from 4.5 assists to 5.5. Do you still like it there? Now, I do still like it. Obviously, I maybe wait to see where the lines go throughout the day. I do like 5.5. Obviously, I don't know if I'd parlay it with Sabonis double-double. You can if you want to. Sabonis is about an automatic double-double. He has a double-double in 47 of 50 games this season. He's been a beast and a great matchup for him against the Pelicans. But again, I like Zion, obviously, as the main leg here. His regular line at was about minus 150. I just didn't want to lay minus 150 on an assist prop like that. I do think the Sabonis will be an auto double-double. Let's hope Zion's getting some assists. I do like this matchup for Zion in the assists, minus 115, a 1-unit play. Now let's touch on this and why I'm not going to touch much more on Sabonis. I guess a double-double in, 47 of 50 games, but mostly I hope this comes down to Zion. If we lose on Sabonis, whatever, GG, we're moving on. But let's talk with Sabonis or Zion. Now, obviously, like I said, his line has bumped up to 5.5. A couple books still hanging a 4.5. That's where we got it on Bet365. DraftKings probably gives you the ability to take a 5+ assist line in the SGP. So again, you probably have a couple different options. Obviously, FanDuel will release their alt lines later throughout the day. What are like Zion assists? Now, obviously, this is at 4.5, 5.5. Not as great of a hit rate. At 4.5, still only over at 7 of 17. Now at home, he's been a little bit better. 10, 4, 4, 6, and 7 assists. Again, the potential assists have been there. Here, 11. This one only 6 against Cavaliers. They're going to live with him. But again, 11, 11, and 9 potential assists there. Now, lucky for us, these two teams just played. What happened in that game head-to-head wise? He only had 4 assists. He had 14 potential assists. So looking at that, very good hit. Very unlucky in terms of that. However, what happened? Zion scored 40 dang points. Absolutely torched them. They only lost by 5 points there. Now, they tried to put Sabonis on Zion, and it was an absolute mismatch. I don't see that being the case tonight. Wouldn't be shocked if Keegan Murray starts on Zion Williamson, and maybe they play him like that, try to slow down Zion, but in turn, they give some open opportunities, some other guys, and that's why I really like this over an assist for Zion Williamson. I really think this is a good spot. The Kings are about a middle-of-the-pack team in terms of assists, but again, where they really struggle. And we'll kind of look at just Trey Murphy for a second. Spot up opportunities. They rank 30th defensively versus spot up. So again, it fits well for a guy like Zion to drive into the paint, kick it out to his shooters. And they have, wrong thing. They have some shooters out there. They have Alvarado now in there. We'll see if McCollum plays, Hawkins off the bench, Trey Murphy as well. I think this is a good spot for Zion to dish it to the teammates. Obviously, you could take his over in points, which right here, you'll see it's 25.5. I don't love that because I could see them switching their defense. So again, 40 points here. Maybe we switch up our defense. Even with the 40, like I said, we already saw him at 14 potential assists. Most recent game, he got 5 on only 7. We've seen him playing blowouts, so I'm not too worried about that. I do think Zion can get us those assists. So again, I like this 2-leg parlay. Sabonis record a double-double to reduce the juice on Zion over 4.5 assists. I don't mind it at 5.5, but obviously assist props can be tricky. They can be pretty sharp. I think gets us 5. Does it get you 6 for plus money? I don't know. I hope he does, but either way, this is my 2-leg parlay. I really like this one. Now we got a couple more plays, 2 more props, and we'll talk about the ladder challenge as our final play of the day. Next prop will be an under in 3-pointers. This has probably been one of our most profitable markets. I think we've hit, if you count on the Niang parlay, we've hit 9 or 10 straight under in 3-point props. Knock on wood, that can continue today. This one, the guy we're fading today, Nick Smith Jr. Oh, who the heck's that guy? Yeah, he plays for the Charlotte Hornets. I'm taking his under 2.5 made 3-pointers at -125 on Bet365. Now, the Hornets have a lengthy injury report. LaMelo Ball out. Brandon Miller's been out for a hot minute. Mark Williams, a new acquisition back from the Lakers. He's out as well. I don't care about that. They're going to have opportunities going up there, but I don't really care. I'm going to fade Nick Smith Jr., a guy that I don't think is all too good. I'll take his under in 3-pointers because honestly, I think this guy's pretty dang bad. Now, you could play this about -140. That's probably about as juiced as I would go. Now, in terms of Nick Smith Jr., let's talk with him and let's talk about this matchup. Him and the Hornets are on the road taking on the Magic. Now, the Magic have been pretty bad recently, losing games that they should be winning. However, today they are at 13-point favorites. This is an over-under at 203. The Hornets have a team total 95.5. 95.5 might be one of the lowest team totals I've seen this season. Now, let's talk with this matchup and we'll look at Nick Smith Jr. Now, you could take his under in points, and I don't blame you there if you want to go there. 14, you certainly 14.5. You certainly could. However, look, he's going to get the ball and he can get some volume. Like we've seen him score points on the free throw line. This most recent game got up to 13 points despite only making 1 3. We could see him do that. I'd rather just take the 3-pointers because I think the under in 3 is a lot safer. Now, obviously, if you look at the hit rate, you'll be like, Austin, great hit rate. He's only over and under in 24-30. Let's not care about those a ton. Let's more look at what happens without LaMelo Ball. Now, I don't really care about these games a ton because he's not really playing a lot. Realistically, we're going to look at a guy that's going to play 20 or more minutes. So let's get rid of the games where he doesn't play that many. These games, we've seen him go here against the Portland Trailblazers, 2 for 10 from the 3-point line. Again, one shot, maybe did that again. Here against the Nets, played 27 minutes, 1 for 10, 0 for 7. Certainly capable of a game like that. Again, Clippers, 0 for 3, 26 minutes. His most recent few games, he's gone over, though. 5, 4, and 4 threes, all great matchups. Nuggets shot 63% from 3. Wizards, they stink. And then obviously the Bucks, again, another defense that I'm not too scared of. Now, he gets the Orlando Magic. Now, the Orlando Magic, we've talked to them before, 3-point attempts allowed, first in the NBA. 3-pointers made, first in the NBA. If you go down to how he scores, spot up shooting, 25% of his points, first in the NBA. He scores 45% of his threes from above the break 3-point line. The Magic, first in the NBA. They don't give up 3-pointers. That's not really how they play defense. And we're thinking about in his most recent game, he attempted a lot of threes, 1 for 7. LaMelo Ball was setting him up the whole time. No one is setting up really Nick Smith Jr. tonight. So if he's going to make 3 threes, he's probably going to have to do it off the dribble because KJ Simpson, their point guard that probably slides in, he's not going to be setting him up. You might get Elfrid Payton tonight, maybe an Elfrid Payton revenge game. But again, I just don't see this being a great spot for him. I get it. He's gone over recently, but again, we're looking at a really, really tough spot for him. So I'll fade him, take his under 2.5 made threes. If he makes 3, I'll tip the cap to him. A terrible spot for him. I almost faded Miles Bridges as well, but we could see him shoot 25 times tonight. Nick Smith Jr. stinks, shoots about 35% from 3. If he shoots 12 threes tonight, whatever, I'll live with the L, but I just don't see him getting up that many attempts. And if he is, he's probably shot chucking and whatever. They're going to be low volume or low efficiency type shots. So I'll take his under in 3s. Let's hope he's not making them tonight. And then my final play of the day, Jaylen Duren to record a double-double of the Pistons, minus 115 on Bet365. Now, a lot of people were on Duren double-double yesterday. Hard to get a double-double when your team's up by 900 points. Now, he did get the rebounds, but he didn't get the points. He only got 5 field goal attempts, and I want to say majority of those came in the second half when he was just kind of memeing around. He was kind of working on his post moves. Obviously, the Bulls tried to do a better job at slowing him down, but in turn, what happened? Malik Beasley made like 7 or 8 threes. Marcus Sasser off the bench went 4 for 4 from 3. They got torched from the three-point line. So maybe today we see them switch things up. And I honestly wouldn't be shocked if that's the case because, like I said, last night, whatever the heck the Bulls did on defense, we need to scrap that because that was absolutely disgusting. Now, what I really first will start with is looking at Jaylen Duren's game log against the Pistons. Now, look at his game log or against the Bulls. Like I said, this was that last game, 4 points, 11 rebounds. So again, only 5 shots, not a great game. But again, look at the other games. Sure, this was all back in 2022, but most recently, I mean, the 10 rebounds are there. 10 rebounds in 8 straight games. The points have been pretty consistent. This game, 21. This game, 15. He's been pretty good at getting those points. Now, obviously, we need to talk about this matchup. You have to first, we'll go to, I think he gets the rebounds. If we're being honest, the Bulls play really fast. They couldn't buy a bucket yesterday, but I think you'll see Jaylen Duren, who's been pretty good at grabbing the boards. We'll start with his boards first. Like I said, 8 straight games with 10 or more rebounds against the Bulls. I'll have the pick scrolling down below at the bottom as well. We've seen why is Kristaps here? You're not Jaylen Duren. Get the heck out of my face. Again, we've seen him pretty consistent getting the boards. Head-to-head wise, like I said, 22, 13, and 11 rebounds. Still only played 23 minutes. They couldn't buy a bucket last night. But again, they'll probably shoot better tonight. And maybe this game's tighter. So again, pretty good at getting the rebounds. He's been pretty consistent in terms of his last, whatever. Not a great hit rate in terms of the last 30 games. But when you look at him when he gets 25 or more minutes, which is almost certainty, over in 21 to 30, I think you can get it in a great matchup tonight. Guys against the Bulls have been rebounding pretty well. Stewart had 6 last night. Gobert 15. Ware 12. I mean, guys have been getting some pretty good rebounding games against them. As for the points, Jaylen Duren, he's been somewhat consistent getting to the 10 we need. 22 of his last 30 when he plays 25 or more minutes. Obviously, pretty good hit rate recently. We've talked about the Bulls before. He scores 86% of his points in the restricted area, where the Bulls rank dead last in the NBA. They rank very bad against putbacks, very bad, dead last against the pick and roll man. They've been pretty bad. And like I said, last game, they really sold out to slow down him. But in turn, they gave up a ton of opportunities, guys like Malik Beasley and stuff like that. So again, I honestly was hoping they'd move Malik Beasley up to 4.5 threes because I really like the under there. But again, this line was minus 140 yesterday. Now it's down to minus 120. To me, I think it's a bad Beasley game. He's been scorched earth recently. I think it's a better Jaylen Duren game where he gets some more What was that? Was that 3-point? No, that was, I don't know what the heck that was. But again, I really like Jaylen Duren to get the double-double. So I'm not going to overcomplicate it, not to waste 2 more of your time. I think he gets a double-double for us tonight. So 10 points, 10 rebounds. You get the same value if you take 10 points, 10 rebounds as you would if for the double-double. So obviously I like a chance for blocks or assists or something like that. He's been assisting pretty well. So either way, I really like Jaylen Duren to record a double-double. I really think it's a good pick. So 5th pick of the day, that one. And then finally wrap up the video, ladder challenge. We'll post day 3 later on today. I'll be live later on this afternoon, probably. I already have one leg that I'm really interested in, and you can check this out later if you're this far in the video. I'm looking hard at Devin Booker, him to score 20-plus points. The only thing that gives me a little bit of hesitancy is D-Book historically has not been good on back-to-back. So I'm not sure I'll get there with D-Book because the back-to-backs, I normally try to avoid teams on back-to-backs because that's when sometimes you see no effort, you see bad shooting performances, you see blowouts and stuff like that. So the Suns did lose yesterday, which makes me like Booker a little bit more. But again, we'll see. Maybe I do Durant. He's been super consistent, but he just played 43 minutes last night. I don't know what the heck the Suns are doing, but we'll figure that out. Again, day 3 of the ladder challenge posted later on today. Hopefully we can cash today, and then we'll go to tomorrow. Although tomorrow, now thinking about it, all the teams will be on back-to-backs. Don't love that. But either way, we'll figure things out. All the picks, I'll recap them one last time for you. Brook Lopez, over in threes. Steph Curry, under in points. Nick Smith Jr., under in threes. Jaylen Duren to record a double-double. Ladder, obviously, we'll stay tuned for that later. And the final play is that Zion Williamson and Sabonis parlay. Those are my 6 plays. Went a little bit out of order for you. My apologies. Either way, let's have a dominant day. If there are any added plays, like I said, they'll be down below in the pinned comment. Stay tuned. Big slate. Don't force a pick in every single game, but hey, go a little bit crazy. Have fun. You don't get a full 15-game slate too often in the NBA. Don't forget to bet a couple unders because you can't have a full over card. That's not how it works this late in the NBA season. You need some unders sprinkled in there. They pay a lot more frequently than the overs, I swear. Have a great day. Have a great Wednesday. Check that pin comment for the ladder and any added plays. See you guys back again in the next one. Hitting it at the 20-minute mark on the dot. Ready, set,